minutes after the Bachelorette ends, we do a recap of the episode. I got a very special guest, Jordan Kimball. Jordan Kimball from the last season of The Bachelorette is here to discuss tonight's episode, and then we're going to do the Batchies, our awards section at the end of every episode. Tonight was very much the second episode of the series. Tonight was a lot of setup. The first episode, always off with a bang. We have the crazy openings. Now we've gotten rid of the clutter, and we're going to start meeting people. And the things that we established tonight is Dale and Claire are a thing. Claire, her whole mood changes every time that Dale is on the screen. We started to establish Yosef as a not well-liked character on the show. And we're establishing Claire's character that she is very obviously trying to make happen, where she is a motivational figure. And you can kind of see it, that she's deep and that she wants the personality and that it's not all about looks. So we're seeing these kind of tropes being established in episode 2. Episode 1 is all fun and games. That's all. Bring out the boys. Let's see what these guys look like. Let's make fun of their jobs. Episode 2 is, what's the storyline going to be? And that's what we got tonight. Tonight we start the La Quinta. The La Quinta always makes me smile. It is so funny that they try to make this look like a nice place, but it looks like a place that you and some friends from your fraternity all decided to just split to do freshman year spring break, and they give you an open bar and you're like, oh, they got an open bar, but all the cups are being reused and they're throwaway trash cups. That's what the La Quinta reminds me of. We go back to the La Quinta and we're going to have our first group date. The first group date is going to be love language themed. So yes, every single woman at home is going, I've taken the test. I know my love language. Ooh, this date was built for the female watchers of the show. Oh, it's a love language date. Yeah, that's important to me. And every guy sat there going, yeah, I guess, sure. Your boyfriend sat there going, oh yeah, I remember your love language. And you guys discussed it like he cared. This is one of those things. And because you could kind of tell that the men on this date just were going along. Like they do the first one, the first love language, which is like spilling your heart or something. They put Claire in a window and they're like, tell Claire, spill your heart to Claire. And what are they going to say? Yeah, I don't know. I just met you 10 minutes ago. Like they all have to say something totally deep and weird. And that's the moment that you see Dale walk up and you're like, oh yeah, it's over. It's in the bag. Because Dale looks at her and says gibberish. He doesn't say anything. He goes, yeah, your vibe is cool, and I know energy, and you're beautiful, and Claire's like, oh my God, is this the one? And it's like, you've made the decision, Claire. You've made it. Everyone else said some things. You're like, yeah, that was nice. Thanks for opening up. And Dale, what did he say to me? And it's like, yeah, this guy's got in the back. You can tell where she is going towards. The second part of the love language date is they're going to give them gifts, and they all run to their different La Quinta dorm rooms, and they go pick up a gift. One guy gives a chess piece, and we're all like, okay, are you trying to get with her, or are you trying to show you're a nerd? And then another guy, gives a baseball, and she's like, thanks for the baseball. And then Dale's like, here's some perfume for your dogs. And she's like, you know what? It's just so nice that he thought of my dogs. The other guy's like, this is my dead dad's baseball. And she's like, yeah, cool. Oh, you like chess? Cool. Perfume for my dog? Like, what's going on. They even did the touch version. So they all put on blindfolds, and then she touches them all. And she's like, let me feel if I love you or not. And then she touches Dale, and you can just see she's like, Dale. And like, you could tell she wanted to be like, everybody get out. Everybody out. Mama and Dale need some time. And we're going through this whole love languages date, and we get through it, and by the end, there's this moment where they come to the date. They always do the fun part, which is the love languages part, and then they come back to this drinks where they're going to have turns talking to her. And at this moment, you realize she hasn't connected with any of these other guys. She has them all sitting around. It's awkward. Like we don't need an editor to show us that. She sits down and they're like, "So, how was your day?" And nobody makes a move. Not one person. Finally, Harvard Bennett, Richie Rich is like, "Come on, I'll take you." So he takes her across and he kind of mentions, he's like, "Yeah, we had a fun day together with all the dudes." And she's like, "What? There shall be no fun without me." And she gets really mad that none of them made a move for her. And she kind of feels like they're all there on vacation, it seems, and they're not there to meet her. And at that moment, Claire goes off. She's like, "We're going back." Bennett, who was a mensch, was like trying to get to know her. And she's like, yeah, shut up, Wentworth. I'm going back to the boys to yell at them. So now she yells at all the men. And there's this weird feeling that she's like telling them what to do. Like there's a point where you go, "Hey, Claire, you haven't connected with any of them, and you can't just go on a date with Dale for 7,000 hours. Like what are they supposed to do?" They're probably all waiting for Dale to make a move because you literally, got drenched the minute you touched him during the blindfold section. So why not? So she starts yelling at all of them. And at this point, we see Yosef is going to step up to speak for the group. Here's when you know that someone is not liked by the house, because there's always this one guy that you can kind of tell the other guys don't like, but the douchiest guy always feels like he has to speak up. Yosef very obviously doesn't have that that sixth sense of oh, I'm not the one people want to speak right now, because he goes, "Let me speak for everyone." And Riley's like, "You ain't speaking for me." He's not, and Yosef isn't wrong. Yosef's not wrong for going, "Hey, let me speak for the group because we feel like there's a misunderstanding." He's not wrong, but he's not well liked enough by the group to even speak up on behalf of the group. That's what happens there, because Riley's like, "You're not going to speak for me," which he's only right because he hates Yosef. Yosef's about to make a point, and as he's making the point, he goes, "Hey, don't act crazy," which I think we're learning that calling Claire crazy in any form or fashion is going to be a bad career move. So they have this moment. Riley takes Claire away. Riley slow dances with Claire to no music for a solid 20 minutes, it seems like. And then Riley gets the rose. But you could tell she didn't want to be that. There's a reason Dale stepped back. There has to be. There's a reason Dale didn't just say, "Hey, get out of here. I'm going to go on my date with my girl." They're holding it back. They feel like they know each other. They feel like they know what's in the bag. So he let everyone go ahead, and everyone else is like, "I don't want to date someone that's already dating someone." So Riley goes on this kind of date where he slow dances with her, and then he gets the rose, and they do this ass out hug like you'd give to an aunt that, is too drunk. And then that was it. And you're like, what are we doing here? There is a sense of Claire is there less to find. It kind of does feel like Claire has found love, and now she's rolling with the show and doing interviews to find out all these men and their innermost secrets. Because then we go to the next date. It is an alone date with Jason. Jason is a former football player who's lost 120 pounds, and he gets a note, and it's from Claire being like, "I want you to be vulnerable today." And Jason's immediate reaction was, "Fuck." You could tell he was like, I got to talk about my feelings. He must have said something in the pre-interview to make him be the guy that Claire was going to try and get to talk about some deep, dark shit. Because that's all they did. They go out to a mountainside, and it's he has to write down the bad things people would say about him. And it's I would never want to do this with someone I just met. I'd be like, "Hey, why don't you tell me what you like to do on a weekend? I don't want to write, like Jason wrote that he's manipulative, and it's like, tell me more about that. It's like, I don't want to tell you. Let me go talk to a therapist. And she's like, tell me about your family. And he's like, well, my family's like got some problems. And it's like, yeah, I mean, this doesn't feel like the place for it. And it's like, it seems like every date Claire goes on is an opportunity for Claire to convince us as the audience that she is in some way the underdog, that she's the one no one wanted, that she's, just got to show up 2020. And it's like, Claire, you can only say it so much until until you're offering t-shirts with slogans on. Because Jason's date, at the end, she pulls out, she goes, this, do you recognize this? And it's the dress she wore on the last episode of The Bachelor 6 years ago. That's an insane question. Do you recognize this dress? If I'm Jason, I'm like, no, I don't fucking recognize your dress from 6 years ago that you wore on The Bachelor. I'm sorry. Your power dress that you yelled at Juan Pablo in. Like, I don't recognize. Like, and she goes, it really means nothing to me. No. It means something to you. You packed a dress from 6 years ago in your bag to burn in a fireplace to make a point. This means something to you. It has to mean something to you for us to be sitting here being like, why are we watching this if it means nothing to you? If it meant nothing to you, it would have been in the garbage in Sacramento. No, the dress is here. It means something. She pulls it out and she's like, we have to burn it. And he's like, yeah, it was an ugly dress anyways. And she's like, what? It's like Jason doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know up from down. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I thought you wanted me to call it ugly. It's from 6 years ago. It's fashions change. And it's like, you called it ugly? And he's like he doesn't know what to do. And honestly, as an audience member, I don't think we know what to do. I don't think we know how to take this because we kind of know that Claire has fallen for someone. And now she keeps trying to bring us down this road of depth and underdog and motivational speeches that none of us really asked for. We come back to the house and we're going to play a dodgeball game. This is the thing. When Claire has to go deep every 5 seconds, her fun moments seem acted out. So then we play dodgeball, and she's at this dodgeball game, and she's like, I want to see if you're good with your balls. And it's like, ha, 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 ha. Like, cue the laugh track. Like, Claire, you just talked with someone about their parents that they're not sure should be together. You can't go to dodgeball and be like, and we're going to strip dodgeball. It's like, Claire, what? You're fun all of a sudden? Where's the dark side that we just had to spend 30 minutes talking about with your dress in a fire? And so now we're playing dodgeball, and she's like, we're going to play strip dodgeball, which that is awkward. That is awkward. I've heard of strip poker, but like I understand this element of like, hey, I want to show you I'm a sexy girl, and I want to see all these sexy boys. But it's like, hey, we're outside and on asphalt. Am I going to like fall and scrape my dick or something? Like, why are we playing strip? Why are we shoehorning this in? So we play strip dodgeball. We're seeing the hard bodies. They all look great. It's just a little awkward. And it's not that it's offensive. I don't think it's offensive at all, but it's one of those things that you're like, I would love to see this scene on The Bachelor where the guy's like, yeah, we're going to play dodgeball. And now you ladies, losers take off their tops. Ah! And everyone's like if that happened on The Bachelor, we would push off the election to discuss this and have a problematic conversation about The Bachelor. That's what would happen. So they have this dodgeball game. Red team wins, blue strips, and they have their after date, their after fun game date. And all the guys are sitting around, and Blake with the chin strap beard is like, I'm going to break some rules. Now, if you don't remember last episode, the first episode, Blake had DM'd Claire, and Claire looked at him and goes, I know you broke the rules, but I love it. So it's like, Claire, this is your fault that this show is off the rails. It's your fault. You told Blake that breaking the rules will be rewarded. So now Blake is in his bathroom combing his beard like, I gotta go talk to her. So now, like some sort of stalker, it was like his season of You. He's like, I shall talk to Claire. She likes a rule breaker. It is time. So now he goes and shows up. He interrupts Joe Blow. I don't even know who he interrupts. It's some nobody. And then Joe Nobody goes to the group and is like, Blake showed up. They're like, what? How did he get through the doors at the La Quinta? And it's like, okay. So then they assemble into some douche trio, and they come over and break the whole thing up. Blake is rewarded for it, though. Again, Claire says to him, thank you for coming. This was actually nice. And then Blake's like, I have to defend Blake. Beard comb Blake, I got to defend him. He's like, I think it's time for a makeout sesh. Like, why wouldn't he believe that? He's broken the rules twice. He's been rewarded for breaking the rules twice. He's been told, good boy. And then he goes in for a kiss, and she's like, you're not Dale. He gets iced so hard that I don't think husbands will try to kiss their wives tonight. Blake got turned down so hard for a kiss that I may never kiss my girlfriend again. I will think twice. Everyone in the country will think twice about their next kiss to a woman, because Claire did send signals. And then she's like, are you Dale? Are you my future husband? Nah. So Blake gets iced, and Brandon, most gorgeous guy on the show from Cleveland, decides it's time for me to show her this face. Brandon pulls Claire aside, and it's funny because we're on episode 2, and he goes, so, like, Brandon being as good looking as he is, he looks like he should be on Selling Sunset. He looks like he should be on every Bravo show ever as one of the bartenders. And he looks like he's Vanderpump adjacent. And Brandon lives a life where all he has to say is, so where are you from? Like, that's every date Brandon's ever been on. So why would he do different now? Brandon's so good looking that he's where you from good looking. And then he doesn't have to listen, and he turns it off. And then he goes home and fucks later that night. So Brandon isn't used to someone being like, yeah, I'm actually listening to you because there's 30 other men out there. So he goes, so you grew up in Sacramento, and what else is going on? She's like, have you listened to anything? I actually don't blame Claire at this point. She's like, didn't you do any research? I'm the Bachelorette. I'm the star of the show. All you know is Sacramento? And Brandon gets asked one additional question, and you could tell hot people get that one extra question, and they're like, oh, what? Wait a minute. Who? She's like, yeah, I'm from San Francisco. Do you know anything else about me? And he's like, words are being spoken to me? It's like, yeah, Brandon, you're in a game you can't play right now. Go back to Raya. Go have fun on Raya. Go meet some chick that does publicity that all you have to go is they do have a good ceviche here. I love my family. Like, he's used to normal hot guy conversation. And Claire hit him with one additional question, and it was over. So Brandon gets kicked off the show. She brings him to an awaiting SUV. I can't even believe they have SUVs ready this early in the show. The driver must have been like, already? Isn't it episode 2? Like, if I'm the driver, I'm fucking hammered in the La Quinta, manager's office. Like, yeah, these people, I probably won't be needed till episode 6 or something. And then they're like, hey, driver, we need you. He's like, oh my God, I got to sober up. He's like, put out the weed. So they kick Brandon off, and we're left with Yosef saying that he felt that the blue team was disrespected for having to get naked during the dodgeball game. And he says, if that were me, I got a daughter. She can't be seeing me looking like a fool. And it's like, this version of Bachelorette contestant, this man is on every season. The man who takes himself too seriously, that goes, morals, dude, where morals aren't needed. And this is what happens. He goes, I have a daughter. So you can't disagree with I have a daughter. Like, as if people with daughters don't have fun and play, strip dodgeball on The Bachelor. It's like, dude, you're already on The Bachelorette. You left your daughter for 3 months at the minimum. So, let's get off our high horse about being a father and not playing strip dodgeball. You left a job and put your job in peril to go on a dating show. So you're not that high and mighty, Yosef. But you can tell they're setting him up as a evil guy in the show. We get to the cocktail hour. Dale is pulled aside. Oh, first Blake is pulled aside. Blake gets a rose after he gets iced so hard with the no kiss. So again, I don't blame Blake for going for that kiss. Then we go to Dale. Claire's like, again, it's the Dale and Claire show. She pulls him aside. She's like, I want to give you a gift. And then she brings him to some corner and puts a blindfold on him. And they start making out the hardest that you've ever seen people make out. Like, that makeout is pre-naked type of makeout. Yeah, that wasn't, hey, I'll make out with you for the show. That was full tongue, wrapped around tongue. There, it is a little weird. She's like, put on the blindfold. Then Dale, midway through, was like, what the fuck is this? And then he just tossed it aside as if like that's our big heated moment. So that was our episode. A fun episode, but also a setup episode. This episode, setting up characters to get us to big fights. Notice how a lot of the stuff in the preview didn't really matter. All the serious stuff in the preview didn't really account. Like there was one where they're like, look at Dale. And it's like he ripped his pants. So setup episode, fun episode. We're learning about characters. We didn't lose any contestants. I want to bring on our guest. I'm very excited to have him here. You can go follow him on Instagram at Jordan_Kimball. Jordan Kimball, thank you for coming on. Jordan, great to see you, buddy.
What's going on? Hey, Jared, it's good to be here.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this. Where are you coming to us from, first of all?
Texas, Houston.
Oh, I love Houston. So what do you do in Houston? What's going on with you?
Well, my girlfriend got a teaching position, so I recently actually just moved. I haven't announced it on social media or anything. You know, everyone knows I'm a proud Floridian. So I just recently moved about a month and a half ago. So just trying to get to learn the area and adapting to being inland, but it's cool. There's a lot of Tex-Mex. I've had more cheese enchiladas than I think I could handle in 100 years, but I'm having a good time.
I love it. I'm so happy. So what is the biggest, what's the biggest difference from Florida so far being in Houston? Houston's a huge city. Like that is, yeah. You could be in Houston, two people could be in Houston and could be 2 hours apart from each other.
Yeah, that's true. The biggest difference is I was living in Palm Beach County in Florida, so I was right on the beach. There's great Italian food in South Florida, in Florida in general. You don't get too many Italian spots. I'm missing my chicken parm right now, but I'm actually going back to Florida in about a week to go pick up my family. My girlfriend's family and my family are meeting, and we're going on a trip to Gatlinburg in a cabin, so that's big. So, yeah.
So this is very serious now. This is great.
Yeah, it is getting serious, and I've got some opportunities with TV coming up that don't entail dating, but that entail high conflict with reality TV and things like that. So I'm working on a lot, and I'm just really happy. I'm living life, and man, I'm just choosing to put out that good energy that hopefully I get back, from putting it out.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm a fan of Palm Beach. I do understand what you're saying with the Italian food. I like going to Del Rey, going to Atlantic Avenue. Yeah, so I know the deal. It is a different vibe than Houston. Now, are you watching The Bachelorette or not? And it's okay if you're not, because I have questions for you that are related to the episode because I know you from the show. Yeah,
I'm definitely watching. Claire was engaged to Benoit. Benoit and I have a history from BIP 5. So, I did The Bachelorette with Becca, I was the guy that was eating breakfast alone. I was the guy with the golden underwear. It's crazy to me, Jared. I wore underwear to a cocktail party and the guys were ready to throw me out of the house. And I was like, wait, why can't I wear underwear at my address? Like I live here. And then now these guys are pulling their nuts out on TV. And it's like, wait, hold on a second. Like, where would Colton Underwood have been in that group of guys? You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say.
It's interesting because this is what I wanted to talk to you about. You were kind of portrayed as the house outsider a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's accurate. That's very accurate.
And so this is kind of like this episode seemingly they're trying to make Yosef the house outsider. What
Correct.
do you feel that? Like, do you feel producers kind of like when they're like when you're like when it, like the golden underwear to me, like the way you did it, I was a fan because you're playing a part. Obviously, like you're like, I'm the model, I'm the best looking guy in this house. I understood what you were doing from day one. I'm gonna wear the golden underwear. She might think this is fun and exciting, but America will find this fun and exciting no matter what. So, like, I either get the girl with my personality or I get America with my personality, but it's a win-win. I understood what you were doing.
Yeah. Well, I like to have fun. And so where Yosef is coming from, Yosef is someone that, like, we might hear about in the news short after this show. Someone that is using their daughter to make their status known. That is not okay. You should never need that much help from anyone. Like,
Interesting.
You don't use your daughter as a pawn to make you better than the other guys in the house. Like, you made a choice to have a daughter. You also made a choice, a cognitive choice during a virus, being an outbreak, to go on a show. You didn't just go on the show and leave your job and leave your daughter.
Sure.
You did all were like, there's more risk.
Yeah, if he wants to play morality game, we can play that ping pong match. I hear what you're saying.
Yosef and Blake, all three of us, I'd have had got the baby powder out. They'd have felt the back of his hand, I think.
So when you do the golden underwear, do you feel when the guys start to kind of turn against you? Are you like, I got my good buddies here and there's like a few guys that don't like me? Or is it like I have the whole house again? Do you feel alone on an island, or is there like a few of you that are like, yeah, this is funny, we're fucking around here? Like, what's the vibe in the house?
So to be totally honest, I want to be very clear on this. I was in a very different position than a lot of the gentlemen in that house. I'm in a different position in that franchise than 99.9% of the people. There are things about me that are very different as far as my relationship with producers and my position there and everything. But let me tell you something. When I wore those gold underwear, it was coming from a place of having fun. And yeah. I'm dating look, let me tell you how serious this is. I'm dating a girl that 27 other dudes are dating. Like, come on. Like, it's not a joke, but it's a joke. So,
but totally. So for someone to get revved up about that, they're more ridiculous than you. I'm on your side 100%.
So much more ridiculous. Yeah. So I had bros in the house. I had bros. All these dudes. You could ask anyone from my season, probably with the exception of Colton Underwood. Like, hey, who do you call like when you really want to have a good laugh or you need something? They'd say me. I formed really great relationships with them outside of the house. But during filming, I was that guy that I had like 4 buddies, 5 buddies. And most of the times I was eating breakfast by myself and just like I see you over there, Hey.
So it sounds like you were friendly with most of the guys. When someone isn't friendly with the guys, how does that you don't have to name names, I'm not asking for that, but like when someone isn't like, because you can tell watching it, and this happens Bachelor, Bachelorette, there's a core group. You could tell there's like a little bit of camaraderie with a lot of the guys. When someone's not involved in that, how does that kind of take form? How does that manifest? Is it awkward?
Yeah, so what happens is it's all based on we all have storylines, and it's all based on a narrative. So if let's say Yosef's narrative is I'm the dad, I'm super serious, then they're going to want to get him as uncomfortable as possible to get him to snap, like really snap and be like, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. And be like, well, what are you doing here then? There's always a narrative. So they want to use one person to knock the other person's comfort down or their morals down, or they're always trying to bend our comfort zone by being with other people. So it's a huge frat house, but like at the same token, you have to care what the other guy does because it's on national television and you're all dating the same girl. So it's like, and when I say dating, I mean it very loosely. You get to see, episode 2, they're still trying to find a villain. They're still trying to find the guy that's going to poke his chest out. They're still trying to find, obviously Claire's found what she wants. There's no doubt about that.
Totally.
We have to call Reality Steve to see if that's true. Like, it's pretty accurate. Like, she's in love.
I'm not in the spoiler game, but I hear what it's palpable. But so when they find the guy that's a little uptight, are they coming to you who's fun and has a relationship with the producer and being like, yo, this dude is fucking losing it. Because if I was the puppeteer, and I don't mean this in a derogatory sense, but if I was the producer who's writing on the fly, I would look for people that were like fun, outgoing guys. And I'd be like, yo, this guy takes himself seriously. Mention that you got naked during the volleyball. Ask him if he would get naked during the dodgeball game. Like, are those people, are you one of those people that they're like, hey, Jordan, feed a line here?
Absolutely. Look, the one thing I do really good is the words that come out of my mouth, the silliest things that I say, that's me. But when producers say like, hey, someone's a virgin in the house, walk by him in underwear and go do something crazy during a cocktail hour and watch everyone sink in their seat. It actually, like, I didn't realize, and you do this stuff not because you go in your quarantine, you don't have a phone, like you're cut off to connection to people. So you kind of start to even become a little more into yourself, like not into yourself, but become more of yourself than usual, because that's all you got in a room for 5 days. And so you go into a house and you think like there's going to be other people like you, and then there's not, and you see how uncomfortable they are, and they try to make you feel like you're wrong, and it's like, whoa, hold on a second, I'm getting mail every day at the door, and you're telling me I can't wear my skivvies? So there are people that absolutely are going to make other people uncomfortable, and there is a reason for that. Like Blake, for instance, tonight they lost, but he still went and had to go and interrupt, and obviously, dude, by the way, thank God I was muted because you had me dying about it. You got totally shut down. I mean, it was embarrassing.
It was a rough watch.
He's someone like Blake. He is the guy that they're going to use to try to get in between Dale and Claire, just so it'll appear more to us that Blake isn't what she wants. They've got to show these signs through people.
So I guess kind of what you're saying is like there's 3 levels. There's guy who's unaware that he is uptight. There's guy who's unaware that they're asking him to kind of make things uncomfortable. And then there's fully aware, I'm this guy, I'm a ball buster, I'm having fun here. I'm going to have some beers and hang out guy. Like, are those kind of the 3 things?
Yeah. I would say if there's guys that are obviously their moms are watching and they really care about that. There's guys that have their morals and they really care about that. And then there's guys that are like, dude, like I came on here, like let's full send, And there's more. So I mean, like I like to use Blake and Yosef as an example because one of the two are going to be a villain. One of the two. Yeah. I'm starting to see signs that Blake really doesn't care about what the house thinks. He's going after it. He is going to be a certain kind of villain. Now, Yosef, he's going to play himself out and he's going to get sent home. This isn't going to work for her. We all know Claire only this isn't going to last forever. She's Dale. She sent Brandon home, by the way, for not having Googled her. I mean, like, I don't know. Should we have known more? Maybe, but would it also be creepy to, like, admit to that? Kind of. Be like, yeah, I was sitting on the toilet, Claire, and I just finished a workout. I had sweat dripping down my thighs. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to Claire Carley's Instagram and see what's up. Like, it's just kind of strange. It's like, you're not going to sit there and, like, embarrass yourself and be like, yeah, like, I scrolled. I even looked at your tag photos,
There is an element of Claire – where she was like mad at Brandon because he didn't treat her as the star of the show. And it's like, but Brandon's like, we haven't even met yet. I'm trying to get to know you like it's a real first date. Yeah. It's Brandon's interesting.
Like, Brandon's like, I'm here to date. And Brandon's also like, usually I just grab a towel at the pool and we're headed up to my room. So like,
game over. So Jordan, this has been very awesome to have you. I love your perspective. This has been great. Where can people follow you at Jordan_Kimball? Is there anything else you're doing that we can promote to the people at home?
Yeah, all my social media handles are Jordan_Kimball, my Twitter, my Instagram. I also am a co-host on a podcast, Unfiltered Podcast. Listen to that if you'd like. I get a little spicy on there, but Jared, obviously you're the man. You're hilarious. I love your content.
Dude.
You're a great dude.
Dude, you're the best. And thank you for doing this at Jordan_Kimball. Unfiltered's the podcast. What day of the week does it come out, Jordan?
On Wednesdays.
Add it to your podcast portfolio. That is a great way to come out of it? Like, do you talk Bachelor, Bachelorette stuff too, or what's the main?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So this
yeah.
is what I love. So everyone go follow Jordan. Jordan, this was a pleasure. I loved hearing your perspective. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much, Jared. I'll see you later.
Fantastic. People, it's great to have you on the Rose Rehash. At the end of every episode, let's have the Batchies. Okay, so at the end of every episode of the Rose Rehash, we're going to give out 3 roses. Brandon, you here?
I'm here, Jared. Can you hear me?
Brandon, this is a great episode, a great second shot we got here.
Oh, my God.
Jordan Kimball was amazing.
Love Jordan.
We got to make
Thank you, Jordan.
He was great. I loved his perspective because he was the perfect guest to have on the second episode where they're setting up characters, because he was a character and a fun one. And I think
absolutely.
the idea of awareness and the different types of people on, you don't think of that when you're watching the show. You're like, oh, that's a dude who fucks with people. I like him.
Yeah, it was a great perspective. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan was great. So let's give out some awards. We're going to give out 3 roses, and we're going to give out 3 divorce papers. The roses go to the people we love. The divorce papers go to people we didn't enjoy. Okay? Let's start with our roses. I'm giving it to Jason. Jason was the alone date. Jason had to go through a date that I wouldn't have been as nice on. Jason's sitting there on a first date with Claire, and she's like, tell everyone what's wrong with you. And it's like, dude, why does he have to do this? Like, why does he? Hey, and then he says, like, he tries to play around with her. He tries to make this light, and he's like, get rid of that ugly dress. And she's like, ugly? So I got to give one to Jason for being so cool in an uncomfortable situation. I got to go with Riley getting a rose. Riley got a rose in the episode. I loved him slow dancing. I loved how he slow danced to no music with Claire for 20 minutes uncomfortably. Also, Riley calling out Yosef. Riley calling out Yosef for speaking for him gave us a good clue into who is disliked in the house. It was a very nice clue. So Riley tipping the hand, I think to say, tipping the audience off to who the group of people don't like. And then the last one, someone wrote Easy should get, I agree, give it to Easy. Easy, I love Easy. I love every time he's on the screen. I think he's here to be something else. Like, it feels like he's going to be on TV the rest of our lives. Yeah, Easy should get a rose every day. I'm with you. I'm an Easy fan. He's going to be the guy, you can already tell, he's going to be the character on the show that the producers are like, hey, can you say this to move to the next scene? And he'll be like, Easy's the guy that's going to go, so we went to a water park. Like, he's going to be that guy. And I always enjoy that guy because you can tell someone like that is liked by producers, liked by the house, big Easy fan. Also, let me give a 4th rose. If we can hit that bell again. Bennett.
I'm out of roses, Jared.
You're out of roses?
I can undo one of them here.
Undo one. Let's give it to Bennett. Bennett, let's give a 4th rose. Bennett for taking Claire away from the group and then taking it very nicely. He basically was like, yeah, like, hey, yeah, like he goes on this separate date, and then she's like, oh, wait a minute, they're not gonna ask me on a date? And she totally like ices him and goes back to the other guy. So Bennett handled that well. Let's give out divorce papers. The first one I'm gonna give it to is Yosef. Yosef took himself, hit that divorce paper. That's right. Yosef gets a divorce paper because I don't like anyone who plays the morality card on The Bachelorette. You're on a show with 27 other people, and you're going to tell us that you're a dad? Like, we know. You just like Jordan said, you're a dad who came here during COVID. Like, don't play the moral game with us. Yeah, Claire wanted to see some dick during dodgeball. Who cares? Get over yourself. Let's go to the next divorce paper is going to go to Blake. Blake has a divorce paper because I don't like when someone does the interrupting thing, but then the interrupting thing becomes his personality. Blake had nothing to say. Every time he interrupts or every time he takes Claire away, it's not like he makes the show better. He actually is a speed bump for momentum. He goes, and I just really like you. It's him brushing his beard with a comb and going, I must talk to Claire. Hey, I just want to let you know I broke some rules because I like you. It's like, listen, if it was easy interrupting shit and breaking rules, I would go, great, more time with Easy. This is a fun personality that pops off the screen. Blake doesn't pop. We don't want more Blake. And he keeps pushing himself on us without the personality to be pushed. The last set of divorce papers goes to Claire. Claire, it's starting to become apparent that Claire is going to be a little too deep and not enough fun for this show. It's starting to become apparent every time she's on a date. She's got, again, Claire wants to be a therapist. I totally agree. Claire is sitting there, and I've been on those dates where someone's like, no, like, tell me about yourself. No, tell me your dark side. And it's like, why did I get to know you first to know if I should trust you for this information? Like, why do you have to, oh, hey, tell me about the worst day of your life? Well, I'm not ready for that. Claire, why don't you ask me about my weekend and ask me what type of alcohol I like to drink, and let's tell fun stories about me shitting my pants in college. Like, let's have some fun here. Because, again, Claire was so unfun that this episode did drag. Like, how many times can I hear about Claire's journey to greatness? Oh, I was on The Bachelor 6 years ago, and I was bullied in high school. It's like, when does it end? Claire, have you had one good day? Give us one good day. Tell us a fun story, Claire. Let's try and, let's pep this up. This is a Tuesday night escape from our 2020 reality, Claire. It's not show up 2020. It's show up with a smile 2020. Give us some fun. That's the Rose Rehash. We're here 15 minutes after every episode of The Bachelorette. Hit the subscribe button right now. Get subscribed to my YouTube page. You will get updates. I am going to be doing a YouTube live vent session this Friday. I'm going to be doing a vent session. We're going to have guests on. We're going to answer dating questions. So get subscribed to the channel. Share. Let your friends know. We're here every Tuesday night. We'll be back next episode. Boom.